Today, you have access to this digital gold rush through the click of a button. You have access to social media. If you have access to free AI tools, there's literally no excuse for you to start making money online. When I started making money online in 2016, it was kind of taboo. It was really not really popular. It was kind of getting there. But today, making money online is not just an opportunity. It's the single greatest opportunity in human history, because the internet does not care about your skin color, your religion, your background, your history. The internet cares about, do you have value to provide in the marketplace? And if you have value to provide in the marketplace, the internet will reward anyone.
For those watching right now, they want to make money. Top 5 coins to get into. Let's get right into it.
I mean, let's get right into it. Let's first talk about what the last year of crypto's been. We start with the Bitcoin ETF. It gets approved. BlackRock, as we know, has come into the game, and they come in super strong. They understand legality. They understand the frameworks of the law. They're never going to lose. They have every politician, every government official in their pockets. They understand how the game is played, and now they're coming into Bitcoin. You see Larry Fink, who's the CEO of BlackRock, now become an apologist and an evangelist for Bitcoin, which is not only surprising, but it's very exciting for everybody that's been in crypto since early on. I've been in crypto since 2016. I started buying my first Bitcoin at $588 when I was a little bit of a brokey. And ever since then, it's matured from being a gambling coin to really being a store of value and being a hedge against bad policy of the US government. I would think right now we're looking at an ETH ETF, which I think we have the potentiality of ETH exploding and going past $10,000. I think it's an extremely good play.
ETH, all right, that's one.
We have the Telegram Open Network, which is TON. You see Pavel Durov, who's the CEO of Telegram. He's come back on the scene.
Multi-billionaire, lives in Dubai, right?
Yeah, and he's one of the few people who's actually gotten citizenship, which is absolutely crazy. So when I look at crypto, I always bet on winners, winning people. I like betting on winning teams, not on speculation. So you have TON, Telegram Open Network. You have obviously ETH. I think it's going to go past $10,000. You don't want to be speculating. You want to be investing into things that are doing well and people that have winning teams.
But do you think Solana might flip ETH?
If it does or doesn't, I don't really know. And yes, there may be a lot of movement when it comes to retail and stuff like that. But I think as well, we see a $500 Solana this bull run, which is really good right now. I think we've been talking about Solana since $30, and the bear market's going to do extremely well. I've been talking about TON since $2 billion market cap. I mentioned it in the Bayaheza podcast. Right now it's at a $25 billion market cap. So people that watched that video, they could have easily done a 10x on their portfolio on that specific play.
So they need to listen to the ones you mentioned now.
And we have two other coins that I think are going to do extremely well. They're not out yet. The first one is Monad, which is a layer 1 competing on the EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine. It's run by Jane Street
How is
guys.
the symbol Monad?
So Monad, it's not out yet.
How do you spell it?
MONAD.
MONAD, okay.
And then the final one, we'll leave it in the comment section for people to scout for it. I think
bro. This is, you see, Luke, he knows how to play the algorithms, man. This is how he's gotten that 1 billion views. He knows how to play the algorithm. I've noticed that you always look to the comments, you always reply to them, you're looking for the data sets. You get your audience to actually that's how you build a community, you know? That's one thing I've realized about you when it comes to other people who create content. How have you managed to build such a strong community that you have wherever you go around, you did a meetup in Dubai, so many people come, they have so much respect for you, they want to learn from you so much. How have you built that community?
I think people resonate with my story. I think so many people come from the trenches. I mean, you come from nothing, I come from nothing. We have a very similar story. We have to hustle our way to being in the rooms that we get to be in today. I come from, like I said, Argentina, $200 in a suitcase, pressure washing basketball courts, cleaning toilets, all the way to sitting with billionaires. I'm far from being a billionaire, but the fact that people watching us are people working at restaurants, people that are starting from the trenches, people from third world countries, makes you realize that hope and opportunity is there for all of us, which is why I talk about the internet as the new gold rush opportunity. The year was 1848. And rumors were heard in the eastern colonies of the United States that in the West, gold had been found. Once the president confirmed that, in fact, there was gold that had been found in the American River, 300,000 migrants moved from east to west with the hopes of finding gold, changing their lives and changing the lives of their family, finding opportunity. But unlike 2024, which the year we're in today, back in the day, you would have treacherous animals, bad terrains, thieves, and the ability to really monetize this opportunity was difficult. Today, you have access to this digital gold rush through the click of of a button, you have access to social media, if you have access to free AI tools, there's literally no excuse for you to start making money online. When I started making money online in 2016, it was kind of taboo. It was really not really popular. It was kind of getting there. But today, making money online is not just an opportunity. It's the single greatest opportunity in human history, because the internet does not care about your skin color, your religion, your background, your history. The internet cares about, do you have value to provide in the marketplace? And if you have value to provide in the marketplace, the internet will reward anyone.
Having said that, because my question was originally about community, and that's an interesting point that you brought up, it's completely true. However, on the same side, most of the creators, they talk about making money online, and they talk about, let's say, drop shipping or e-commerce. But what happens a lot of the time, I see comments as well, because I read with the comments, and I'm trying to be as a commentator or like as a fan watching from the outside. I would ask you, Luke, is the best way to make money right now to make content, build personal brand, and then like kind of like try to sell stuff off that? Or is it better to like focus on drop shipping or crypto or, you know?
Yeah, it depends. So back to the original question is, why is it that I've been able to build a massive community? It's because people resonate with the message. They resonate with the message of going from nothing and being able to build something. And people watch you online, so naturally you're going to look for answers on the internet, just like I did. I think today there's massive levels of opportunity. The first one is the crypto space. I think the crypto space is a massive asymmetrical bet over the next couple of years. You see hundreds of projects emerge every single month, but they lack marketing. They lack understanding of social media. I mean, you run a massive agency with hundreds and hundreds of influencers inside of your network. Anybody can just call you, and a couple calls that you make, you can give them access to the best in the world. You couldn't do that if social media didn't exist. You've been able to build a massive network because of that. Just like that, I've been able to monetize my personal brand. My personal brand is like a digital resume. So whether you create content or whether you have a phenomenal brand that happens to be on the internet, people are always looking. And what I love about the internet is that people talk about the internet as a fad, but in reality, where do we spend most of our time? We spend most of the time on our phone and on social media. So instead of trying to bring people into somewhere where they're not, I go to where they are, and that is the internet. So I think building a personal brand or having your company on the internet is phenomenal. Let's say you have a regular business, plumbing business, you're an electrician, you're a car salesman. You should have a social presence. It doesn't mean you have to be making podcasts and content every single day, but why aren't you going to go where people are? If you have a business and you're not on Google, what are you doing? Yeah. If you have a business, you have a website, but you have no Google SEO, why don't you? People are going to look for answers on the internet. You have to be the first one to show up. And that's why I think building any sort of awareness on the internet is a zero-sum game where you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
True, and you're 100% right. Like, you don't even have to. You just can document your day-to-day work. You don't even have to create content.
Yeah, simple stuff.
Whatever you're doing, film it. And also at the same time, I think that if you can literally make content. Like, I know that some people, they watch the show, like TV show Friends, and they're fans of it, and then they make a show just talking about Friends episodes, you know?
And you get fans from just being a fan. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, all these fan club channels, there's so many of them. All right, man, I have a question then. If I was to ask you, who is Luke? What would you define yourself as?
I'm just another guy trying to make it. That's it. Trying to understand more of how the world works. I'm still young. I'm still in my 20s. I'm just another guy. Simple. I'm just a human being, bro, trying to figure it all out. And like I said, once again, I think that's why people resonate with me. I'm not trying to be this something that I'm not. I'm not trying to paint this persona of this character that is imaginary or far-fetched from reality. I think I am the personification of the potential that everybody has.
What's the biggest issue you see in young men today? Obviously, you just had this meet and greet. What do you call it? Glitch meetup or DJ meetup. And you met a lot of your fans. Young people, probably my age, 21, 22 out there. What would you say is the biggest issue you've noticed in people our age?
It's interesting. I was doing analytics on my account over the last year because I have plenty of data. The average age right now that ranges for my content is anywhere from 26 to 38, which is a lot older than you would presume, which is closer to my age in our demographic. I think the biggest issue that I see is comparison. The internet is a great place of opportunity, but it's also a great place of deception, where people compare themselves to something that they're not.
I suffer with this.
And we all do. And they begin to compare themselves. And comparison is the killer of joy. It's the thief of joy, because you're no longer present. You want to be what somebody else is, and you imagine an elusive reality of what somebody else is experiencing, and you think that that other person has all the answers, when in fact, they probably don't. Just because somebody lives in a lavish big home or drives a Bentley or has a phenomenal watch on their wrist doesn't mean they have life figured out. Maybe they have a couple assets, maybe they have money, but if money is all you have, then you don't have much. And I think that social media has done a terrible job at making people realize that this material thing that we live in, this material possessions that we can acquire, is the end all of happiness, and that you're supposed to have a Lamborghini when you're 18 or 19, and if you're not, you're a loser. I was listening to an interview that Pavel Durov from Telegram did recently, and said, I've never bought a supercar, I don't have super yachts, I live in Airbnbs, I just want freedom. And I'm like, okay, this guy that's a multi-billionaire, been buying Bitcoin over the last 10 years, understands the fundamental premise of, I don't want things to own me, right? I want to own things, I don't want these things to own me, so understands how to manage his materialistic desires. But in social media, I think it's very easy to see somebody else's life and think that they have it all figured out, when in reality, we're all still trying to figure it out. Look for those content creators that aren't here to sell you a lifestyle, but that want to empower you with becoming the best version of yourself, which is why I love this podcast, because it's based on happiness, self-development, and business, which are the fundamental keys to living a good life. And you've had different aspects of entrepreneurs, and I have a plethora of people, and I think that it's very healthy to find those people that are real and authentic, because authenticity is the premise of a life well lived. Because if you don't have authenticity, then you've lost yourself in the process. And I think that's the biggest issue that we face nowadays with men, the comparison that ultimately leads to the killing of joy.
And that's well put. I think especially like when you see social media, the Instagram stories, like it's just real time. What are you doing right now? What am I doing? You know, whenever someone posts a story, it's likely that what they're doing is fun. And if you're sitting in the office, no matter which door you're opening, they're all doing something better than you. Because if you were just sitting in an office or sitting in a workplace, it's just gonna be a boring setup. But if they're posting on their story, they're out on a yacht. Or so when you open your stories, you will see like everyone is having fun except you. Because if the fact that they're posting a story means they're doing something interesting. And I think in real time, you look at yourself and you say, like, okay, what am I doing now? And what are these other people doing in this moment? And you just compare yourself, and it just makes you feel so bad, you know? That's why I think a lot of people should spend less time on social media as well. Because I think there's only so much you can limit yourself. How would you stop comparing yourself? Like, what would be the counter? Let's say, for example, if someone today was comparing themselves a lot, how would they stop?
I mean, first is understand that, like you said, people on social media, they just reflect the best aspects of themselves. And that's what social media is for. It should be for business. It shouldn't be there for, you know, when people talk about drama and when people are out here talking about people's personal information. I don't like that. That's gross. I think the internet is about business. I think it's just a vehicle and a channel to materialize things into the real world. And I think that this is what matters, relationships. Like, fuck the cameras, you know, like, we're going to dinner after this, we're going to have a good time. That's what matters. But had it not been through the internet, we would have never been able to do it together.
We would have never met.
We had the meetup. There was 1,600 people that showed up. 1,600 people in Dubai. I live on the other side of the world. I live in the Caribbean. 1,600 people in Dubai. What matters is the experiences, the hands that you shake, the stories that you listen to. The people that are comparing themselves first need to realize that most things on the internet are just the best versions of people. It's not people's reality. It's just glimpses into people's lives. And for the people who are like, oh, well, those people don't make money. Let me tell you something. People make money. Don't get that mistaken. People make a lot of money on the internet, and people flaunt a lot of their wealth on the internet, but it's not the end all and be all of their lives. The second part is, why do you use social media? Are you a consumer or are you a producer? I use the internet to make money. I use the internet to build community. I use the internet to find connections and relationships. I'm not out here doom scrolling on TikTok, wondering what Kim Kardashian and Lady Gaga are doing on their free time in the Frappuccino that some other bullshit influencers cooking up. I don't care. I'm using it as a producer. And I think the people that use social media as a consumer are the ones that end up being very, very unhappy.